Hello everyone, welcome back to another FinMeUp wrap where we cover the most important stock exchange news that happened during the week. There's quite a few companies we'll look at today. Capital appreciation, a small cap on the JSE that I own shares of. The unemployment rate news, the PBT group, another interesting company that performed really well over the past few years. And then we're going to look at some US companies. We're going to look at Elon Musk, Disney, Meta, Crowdstrike, which is a high growth company, and Neo. So that's what we'll be covering today. And at the end, we'll announce the quiz winners for this week. Remember that with the quiz, all you need to do to win weekly cash prizes is play the quiz on the FinMeUp app. That's it. Nothing to pay for, nothing to do. Just download the app, play the quiz. Every time you play, it's an entry. So, yeah, we'll announce that at the end. Capital appreciation. So, this is actually a company that I own. It's a company that I found very interesting. They own quite a few companies and they believe in partnering, innovating, and expanding. So there was actually an investor call this week after they announced their 6 month results. When they announced it on the Friday afternoon, last Friday, the share price fell. Because by the looks of it, the earnings per share is down by a lot and all of these things. But after the investor conference, people seemed bullish again. The market liked what they said, what the management said, and the share price went up. So let's just look at the financials. So their revenue grew by 22.5%. So there was revenue growth, and that's what it's all about, but also profit. So the trading profit grew by 2%, and the earnings per share fell by 58%. Now, if you just look at that, it's warning signs because why would earnings per share fall that much? But they went into detail with that, and one of the big reasons is an impairment on a loan for GovChat, which is one of their companies. And there's been a few challenges with GovChat. Namely, they're competing, or not competing, but there are things going on with Meta, which is Facebook, and WhatsApp. So obviously, we know the powerhouse that WhatsApp is, and there's lawsuits there. But anyway, so Paul, do you have any more comments to say about that side of the results?
Yeah, no, I'm with you here, you go. So obviously, for those of you who don't know Capital Appreciation, it's a holding company. They started out, buying fintech businesses, and been doing quite well as a holding company. Much like Berkshire or Sadcap, they're one of these companies. But yeah, the GovChat impairment was not taken very well by the market. So I think that's obviously why the stock price fell, and then it recovered again. So I think all you need is a good presentation, just reinstalling the faith in the investors.
Yeah. Well, they declared an interim dividend of 4.25 cents, 4.25 cents, and that's actually good. If you look at the dividend yield, I'll just confirm the dividend yield, but that's a proper dividend for a small company. And if you look at their dividends, it's been increasing, every year. So, they are serious about paying dividends and rewarding shareholders in that aspect. They're also taking it seriously to educate the retail investors. They've been doing a lot of, commitments and a lot of projects to educate the community about them. This is a highly cash generative business. They've got quite a few exciting businesses. One thing that really stood out for me was their international growth. And listening to the investor conference, there's long-term contracts in place. So we'll continue to see the services revenue of their international revenue grow. And we do expect that the earnings per share will actually come back to normalized level. The correct amount for the earnings per share change due to the GovChat was around 4 cents. So, we could see back to normal earnings per share, now that the impairment is gone. And who knows what happens with the lawsuit? Maybe GovChat actually gets rewarded and wins the suit, or the settlement is more than the impairment. So let's wait and see for that. But overall, I'm still owning this company. This is cash generative. They are paying dividends, so you are getting some of your money back in the form of dividends. The management is experienced. There is room for expansion internationally, and they are sitting on very exciting businesses. Some of them probably won't work. Some of them might work really well. I like their African resonance. I like the potential of Halo Dot. So there's a few exciting companies. Paul, any final comments from your side?
No, you wrapped it up beautifully, Hugo.
Awesome. Unemployment rate. So this was actually a good thing to see this week, and that is that the South African unemployment rate dropped to 32.9% from 33.9%. So that's a percent recovery, and this is the lowest in 1.5 years. So that's great.
Yeah, I mean, Hugo, look, it's an improvement, right? But something can still be can improve and still be very very bad. I mean, the fact that 1 out of 3 individuals in our country is unemployed is actually very scary. So it's not looking good at all, in my opinion. Yeah, it's an improvement. So yeah, let's celebrate the small victories there, but still a huge challenge for the government, especially.
Yeah. So PBT Group, this is also a company that's international, that's got an international presence. Tell us more about PBT Group and what they posted, Paul.
Yeah, okay, so let's look at the figures quickly. Revenue grew by 14.5%, operating profit grew 4.2%, profit grew 5.5%, earnings per share fell a little bit, 3.5%. They also declared a final dividend. So yeah, I think overall, not bad for PBT Group. For those of you who follow us on the app, Josh Yoon actually posted a stock pick on PBT Group this week, so for a little bit more reading. But yeah, they basically focus on data analytics. So it's all about data analytics. The thing that I don't like about PBT Group is that they're not really that scalable. As they grow, they need more employees. It's not like a platform like FinMeUp where we kind of have content, and then as many people as is there is available in the world can basically use it. It's very scalable. Here, it's almost like consultancy. It's almost like a doctor firm or a lawyer firm, which the employees are paid per hour. So the more users you get, the more employees you will need. Is something that I don't personally, like that much. They got an Australian segment called Jewel, which did very very well. So, but anyway, I think for further reading, Josh is a go-to man, and go read the stock pick.
Yeah. So some of my friends in the stock market, they actually like PBT a lot. They like the management. It is an illiquid stock, so
Yeah.
it's probably going to be a while before corporates or big companies invest. And also, it's very volatile because of the low liquidity. The thing about PBT Group, they can scale internationally. They are basically data consultants, and they really know their data. And data is king in these day and age. And the thing is, why don't they use all of that knowledge and start building scalable tech products for the data analytics industry? If we look at Snowflake, if we look at Palantir, if we look at Microsoft, there's data companies that are trading at such high multiples because they are growing very fast, but also a very scalable business. So, PVT Group, they really understand their data. So why not use that to build products that are scalable? Maybe they're already doing it, but that's something I would love to see. I own a tiny little bit of PVT Group just to stay interested. They also declared the dividend, so it's not a big dividend, but it is a dividend. And in these times, people love their profitable companies. But anyway, so that's more on PBT Group, and I'd also recommend that you go read the stock pick from Josh Yoon on the FinMeUp app about PBT Group for more. Looking at the US, Elon Musk says he will make a competing smartphone if Android and Apple remove Twitter from their app stores. We actually had a discussion in office. What are the odds that Elon Musk has been secretly working on his own smartphone for the past 3 years? Because there was a rumor a few years ago. What if that actually happened?
Yeah, you go look. Like I love Elon Musk. Who doesn't? Okay, some people love him, some people hate him. I'm definitely a fangirl for Elon, and I think this is obviously getting a lot of media attention. Right? He just bought Twitter. That's doing really well. He's testing the waters with some new features, but I don't think a competing phone is going to work. Let's say he hasn't started on it in the background, right? I don't think it's going to work. Amazon tried it before with their Fire phone. It was a little bit of a dud. And yeah, I think it's a little bit of big boy talk from Elon. It's a smart move in my opinion because is getting people to talk, and that's all you want in this game. People talking, people using Twitter. Is he going to do it? Is he not going to do it? But competing against the likes of companies like Apple, which has a whole ecosystem, years and years of research and development, product testing, for that to happen, I don't know. Even if he does do it, it's going to take at least 5 to 10 years, in my opinion, before it actually realizes. And the way he's talking, or the way people are going on about this, it's going to happen like, in 6 months. He's going to have a new smartphone, and it's only going to be Twitter, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch. I mean, Tesla has a lot of resources, so it might be a Tesla phone. They also have some of the smartest people in the world working for them. But anyway, that's an interesting story to follow. Looking at Disney, Avatar 2. So I don't know who of you watched Avatar 1, but Avatar 2 is so expensive that it must become the fourth or fifth highest grossing film in history just to break even. That's a scary fact. They hope for them they do, but I mean, there's a lot of anticipation for this, so I won't be surprised if they do break this. Disney CEO is also the old CEO is back now, so let's see how that executes. Looking at Meta, they are just struggling with fines left, right, and center. I mean, even if you look at GovChat from Capital Appreciation, they're also in a lawsuit with them. So Meta has been fined $227 million for a data leak on 500 million of its users. So, it's likely that you are one of them. That said, looking at Crowdstrike, this is a company that we've also covered on the app. And Paul, you can say a bit more about Crowdstrike if you want to. The earnings per share of 40 cents, 40 US cents, beating expectations of 31 cents, and revenue of $581 million, beating expectations as well of $573 million. The thing about Crowdstrike, the share price fell after this result, even though they beat expectations both on earnings and revenue. But CrowdStrike, Cloudflare, Snowflake, these software companies, they were extremely expensive end of last year. We saw a massive correction, some of the names down 70%, but they are still expensive. So if they don't surprise massively, they are still under pressure. And that's what we're seeing now. I mean, the price to sales, the earnings, the valuations are still very high. It is quality companies. CrowdStrike is in the cybersecurity industry. So, that's also something that's going to continue to grow over time. But, now CrowdStrike needs to grow into that rich valuation and further. So if you CrowdStrike, this is going to be one for the long term. Anyway, any thoughts on that, Paul?
Yeah, we've done a stock pick on CrowdStrike, so you can once again read it on the app. And yeah, I just like to follow up on that what you said about expectations. That the problem with a company that's doing really well is that you kind of create these expectations that you're going to keep hitting the ball out of the park, and then when you just meet expectations or you just beat it slightly, then all of a sudden the market reacts negatively on that news, which is actually crazy. So that's why I'm always scared of growth stocks, especially in a bull market, because once that switch flips, then you're in big trouble. And these, especially the American companies, are trading at insane multiples. So if you want to dip your toes, I mean, you're welcome to do that, but just know that it's high risk.
Yeah, and then the last stock for today, NIO. So this is a Chinese Tesla, if you want to call it that. NIO has announced that it delivered 14,178 vehicles in November. That's up 30% year over year. And so far in 2020, the deliveries are up 31.8% year over year. And that is 106,000 vehicles. So that is also an interesting company that could potentially, I don't know. I don't follow NIO that much. If I invest in electric vehicles, it's Tesla. Something else on Elon Musk, Tesla CEO. Neuralink expects to begin human trials of its brain implant in 6 months. That is something I would stay so far away from that. Like, I know it could help some people, but having a chip in my brain, not a chance.
Yeah,
But anyway,
I'm with you. There you go.
it's
I'm not gonna be the first, I'm not gonna be an early adopter of the Neuralink chip. I'm gonna stay away for as long as
yeah,
possible. Yeah.
no, definitely. So that's it for this week. Next week we'll be back with more highlights like these. Remember, every day on the FinMeUp app there is a quiz you can play and you can win prizes for that. And also every day there's the daily highlights where we cover the most important aspects of the stock market that happen during the day, from directed dealings, financial results, news, updates, anything like that. That's all on the app, and it is free to read every single day. So the quiz winners for this week are